Finally, GEVO slowed down and is now cooling off. With the stimulus news and the current setup, the question is, how far will GEVO run today? Let's find out. Welcome back for another GEVO technical analysis update. This is Dr. B on Webull, and I will explain GEVO's technical analysis and how far can we expect it to run today. I'm actually a professor of computer science. I'm not just claiming to be a doctor. So when I tell you that the monster of YouTube algorithm will eat my video, I know what I'm talking about. Alright, I don't usually ask people to subscribe and like at the beginning of the video since this doesn't make any sense to me personally. But please do not forget to like and subscribe before you leave if you like and find this video at all useful. Also, a quick reminder, I do live text commentary on the price action during the day on the free Discord server as we watch the daily live stream of GEVO and other stocks like NEO. The live stream shows you the important levels as GEVO's price move between them, and it will help you make better decisions about when to buy or sell. So that's another reason to subscribe so you can get notification when the streaming starts. The invitation for the Discord channel is in the description below. Alright, so back to GEVO. GEVO is very interesting, and if you are confused and unable to make a decision on where it's heading, that is perfectly fine. GEVO itself doesn't know. So on the weekly chart, so far we have a big indecisive candle. It's unclear what direction we are heading. Being at the top is not good, but again, we are in the second day of trading this week, so that's not too bad. So in this case, what we do is that we go to lower time frames and do some technical analysis detective work. So on the daily, we have a big red candle that doesn't look too bad. It may resemble a hangman candle, but the fact that the lower wick is not 2 times the body tells me that it's not a hangman pattern. The other thing that makes me a little bit comfortable is that this red candle closed a little bit above the 50% of the green candle. So if it was like below the body, that would be worrying because it would look like a bearish engulfing pattern or something. All right, the Como cloud looks good. The cloud is widening and we have the conversion line above the baseline, which is good. And we are trading above the cloud. The other thing that we can look at is that we are above the super trend, and that is good. EMAs look great. So here as we can see here, even though they are losing a little bit of the slope, but that is perfectly fine. That's because of this candle here. It pushed the averages down a little bit, but that doesn't look too bad. It looks good. We are pushing the upper lines and bands of the Donchian channel and the Bollinger bands. So if we look at the Donchian channel, we will see here that we are pushing the upper limit of the Donchian channel. And if we look at the Bollinger bands, we will see that we are actually above the Bollinger band, but the fact that we touched the upper band, that's good. It's not completely detached. That's good. If we look at the bandwidth of the Bollinger bands, we will see here that it's slightly high. Right, it's higher before the previous run, but it's not as high as the first run that we had in August. So that tells me that we can still push a little bit. That's fine. It's extended, it's wide, but maybe it can push further a little bit. The DMI is still good. We are seeing more buying pressure, less selling pressure, and we have the ADX very high and making higher highs. So here is a high, another high, and this is leading to another high. So maybe it will stay there for a while and then start to drop back as we consolidate. We will see. All right, so the RSI is cooling off, even though it's still pretty hot. So it's above 70 still. So if we check the RSI, we will see here that it's still above 70, but lower than before. All right, now the fact that we are in a phase where GEVO is trying to break out from the penny stock land, it actually justifies this high RSI. So this is the only negative signal that I'm seeing, but at the same time, the fact that we are in a very bullish trend justifies the high values, and it doesn't really worry me. All right, so not much on the daily chart. We cannot really get a clear indication. So what we do is that we go to lower time frames and try to see or get more clues. On the 4-hour chart, the RSI is below 70. All right, so that means it's really cooling off. So you see here over that day, it really cooled off and went all the way down below 70, which is good. All right. The EMAs look great. They pulled back, but they didn't cross. So here we can see here there is a pullback, didn't cross. Still all in order, positive. Lower slope, of course, but that's what happens, right? Lower slope, and then it extends again. So that looks very healthy. The Ichimoku cloud looks good. Bigger cloud, gap between conversion and base. We just bounced off the base. All right. Even though the conversion rejected, so here that's not very positive, but it's not too bad. We are still above the cloud also. The Bollinger Band looks good. We have bounced off the upper band. We got rejected, we lowered, and then we almost got as low as the middle band. And then we are moving up. All right, so you can see here some rejection of the lower prices. So for lower time frames, we can see almost the same trends and indicators. On the 2 hours chart, we seem to be breaking below the middle band of the Bollinger Bands. I don't like that, but that's the 2-hour frame, so it can take like 2 hours to rectify this, right? It can go all the way down and then bounce back up, maybe 4 hours or so. So that's the pre-market. All right, if it's that bad that we are going to drop, but we are still we still have the possibility of actually going back up. Another thing is that yesterday we actually bounced off the super trend line. So even though we had this strong dip at the morning, we actually bounced off the super trend. That's good. This means the super trend is acting as a very strong support here. On the 1-hour chart, if we check it, we will find that we are actually below the super trend. Also, we are below the middle band of the Bollinger Bands, but we also bounced off the lower band. So that's good. We got rejected by the middle band again. We bounced back down, and then now it seems that we are making our way up again. So that's good. Not too bad. If we check the Kumo cloud, that's the one significant issue here, is that we are below the conversion and the baselines. So that's why we are seeing this rejection here, right? We are still above the cloud though, and the cloud is green. So here, the only thing I'm seeing here is that the positive thing is that actually the conversion line has a positive slope, which is going towards the base line, which is flat. So probably it's going to cross it, and maybe we will be able to go back up. All right, so same for the Donchian channel. We can see here, the Donchian channel, we are below the middle band or the middle line. We bounced off the lower one, and now we got rejected and working our way back up. So overall indicators look neutral to positive to me, and more positive, honestly. So now the magic time. So let's overlay our chart. Before we do that, once again, I remind you, please do not forget to subscribe, like the video, and join the Discord server. All right, so GEVO is consistently breaking our channels. All right, so that's good, because the more it does that, the more we know its movement and how it works. So here is the new channel. All right, so the news channel is still young, right? Because we haven't seen a lot of action, so we don't know if it's going to work. It's still young, but at the same time, we are seeing good trend. It's following the channel. All right. So I'm keeping the old channel just in case that GEVO decides to go crazy and drop down all the way there. I don't see it happening because we got rejected of the outer resistance. It's now working as support multiple times, as you can see here. So that's actually good. So I'm talking about this channel here. All right, so this is acting as support now. So I'm not seeing that we drop back, but I'm just keeping it just in case, so we can be ready for anything. All right, so here is the new channel. It looks like the old one is very similar, except that now we have some sense of the low swings. All right, so the older one, it was all positive. It's showing the positive trend, but it didn't show the low swing because we didn't have any. So yesterday was very good because it now told us how far it went down. All right, so now currently we are at the outer support of the channel. All right, so if this channel is accurate, this means that we are due to bounce back up. So at the 2 and the 1 hour charts, we can see here that we actually started to break out of this falling wedge, and we are working our way back up. So we are bouncing off the outer support. All right, so if this is going to continue or fails, that's what we need to look at the morning. And as we can see, actually on the lower time frames, this is more clear that we are breaking out of that. Maybe if we adjust this a little bit here, so that's the break and maybe the retest, but we will see here if it keeps this or falls. All right, so that's the channel here. So today we actually tested the 23.6% extension, Fibonacci extension level, which is at 4.8. Then we got rejected and dropped all the way back to 38.2% retracement level of Fibonacci, which is 4.34. Now that is good, and what is more interesting is that we actually almost tested the 50% Fibonacci retracement level, the 3.9, today in the morning, which is good. So this means that is acting as a support. We bounced back up. We got rejected from this retracement level. We drop back. Now 38.2 is holding, and we hope to continue to hold, and then we go bounce back up, and this time we break out of the 23.6 and head to higher values. All right, now what values do we talk about? All right, so if we drop, let's look at the negative part first. If we drop, if it doesn't hold, so if it doesn't hold the 38.2%, then we are heading to 3.94, which is the 50% again. And then if that also doesn't hold, then we are dropping to the 61.8%, which is at 3.53. All right, so now this way we are actually going back to the old channel. That's not good. It's an upward channel still, but it's not as steep and nice as this new channel that we are hoping to maintain. All right, if we go up, in this case, we are looking at a range. So if we look at the day here, so this vertical line is today. All right, so we are looking at the lower bound of 4.56 all the way up to maybe 6.78. all right, if it decides to be super crazy, it can test the 7.45, but then a reasonable range that I'm looking at is or could be the 5.32 and the 6.13. so that's a reasonable range that maybe we can break if we have a very strong bullish trend. All right, so that's an expectation for today. All right, so if you want to actually monitor the price action as it moves between these levels, please make sure to subscribe, join the live stream and our GEVO Discord channel. Thank you for watching and Happy New Year.